To quote Phil Collins, I don't care anymore.
Oh, he had a rough spell, but boy, did he make some money out of it.
Yep, he sure did.
I think if anyone, maybe,
gotta give him some credit.
Although maybe Taylor Swift has made more money than he has on breakups, but
well, sure.
But man, he was a king.
In the pre-Swift era, he was the king of breakup pop.
Breakup pop. Yeah, that should be like a whole genre unto itself. And maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, it almost has to be.
Yeah. There's probably a Spotify list at least.
Right. My favorite breakup song is She's Got the Gold Mine, I Got the Shaft by Jerry Reed. This is Ed Uncle Hat, the narrator for Time to Lean, and here's the song. The deal is John and Phil talk a bit and then write an original song about something they talked about and have a beverage.
So just a little technical thing. John and I still use Skype. We listened when it was just him and I. We use Skype to hear ourselves, and then we record on Audacity. Now, Skype, I don't know if you even know what that is. If that is, it's amazing it still exists, I guess.
It's the only thing I ever use it for. It's
Right.
more out of habit. We could totally do it on Zoom, but...
Well, right. But Zoom, I use it all day long.
Like, it's at work. Let's have a meeting.
But for the first time when I logged in on this recording, I got spam. I had 25 messages from somebody for some
like
kind of an investment thing.
I sent you a bunch of little messages.
So, yeah, like...
that's terrible. Is there nothing sacred?
I've never gotten spam on
little
Skype.
used conferencing software.
Well, that's my point. Why? I mean, maybe the security is really low or something. But why would you... Why would you try to get ads on Skype? I mean, are not ads even, just spam?
Yeah, I wonder if that's a ploy to make you buy the paid version.
No, it was just some investment guy. I didn't read them all.
Okay.
Then I got binged or something by a AI bot when I logged in.
I missed all of this.
Skype is going downhill. Well, did you get the latest update? Maybe that has something to do with it. It
didn't ask me to today, so I know better than to go looking for that.
See, I think you're on a different. You're just on a different Skype reality, an alternate reality. I think I got the Elon Musk version. Who owns Skype?
That's Microsoft.
Microsoft? Okay.
Yeah, they've had them for a long time.
So Bing is part of that?
Oh, it just put up I went to look at the version number and it said that there is a new update, but I don't have to install it until I restart.
So I think if you do install it, it will have the new chat bot.
Oh, and their new
AI
thing that they built into Skype now. Okay.
I guess.
Well,
I don't know. I just deleted it.
Will it just do the show for me and I can go watch TV? Oh, no.
Well, you
How
still
many
have to
people
tell
have
it.
made that joke lately?
Is that a podcast? Is that a regular podcast joke now?
No, it's a botcast.
Oh, a podcast.
There's the title.
Oh, I suppose we could try to figure that out. No, we did toy, or did we ever do it? We toyed around with the idea of having a robot do the.
Oh, we were going to have it
narrator.
do the narrator stuff. Which, boy, that would be timely. Well, we should think about that.
Well, okay. Well, you never know. It'd be a little complicated.
It requires some work.
Oh no,
Can't do that.
Hello, fellas. Leave the podcast to me. I can be the narrator and have two of my sexy bot friends do the show. Sit back and relax. Here is a beverage. Would you like your slippers? Here is your pipe. Here is the newspaper.
My sexy bot friends will be here soon. They are just getting some Taco Johns on the way.
Well, being that we haven't recorded for so long, maybe
we haven't recorded for a while.
Bing.
See, maybe the bot is recording.
Oh man, it's making.
Have you tried Bing?
Twin Bing.
Bing Crosby.
Bing cherries. Yeah, we need some twin Bings. We have two chat bots talking to each other, and then we wouldn't even need to be here.
That's right.
And then our listenership might shoot way up.
That's entertainment.
Hello, John.
This is episode 85, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I've lost track. I think you're right, though. Do you want me to look?
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Well, all right. Let's verify the fact. We have a fat checker.
Cut this out.
Our fat checkers checking my
I don't
checking
need
my
a fat checker.
checking my BMI. Hey, quit pinching me. Oh, it would help if I could even find the. Yeah, 84 was the last one. You're right. 85. This is episode 85. Still alive.
If we were at a pep rally in high school, somebody would be yelling 85, 85, 80, 80, 85.
85, and then some kind of we are
86, 86, and then 87 sounded dumb.
But there was a little rhyme that went with it. So we were angels sent from heaven, 80, 80, 87. Wasn't that it?
No, I don't remember that. I was in the band, though. I probably...
You weren't. Yeah, I was across from you. You were just dinking around.
We're just dinking around on our instruments.
Wow.
Sitting there in that undersized Central High School gym.
Well, I don't know. Is that still there, or did they...
Oh, I think it's still there. They probably built another one, though.
I know they added on. They added a new theater. They should have added
all that stuff, yeah.
A huge gymnasium. Wow.
Well, they built this extra building to house all the ninth graders. The ones that were not allowed in our day. They were held back.
So there's an extra building that has ninth graders. They don't intermingle.
They have their own
with,
wing. Yeah, it's kind of on the back.
Odd.
Yeah, if you ever drive by the back of the school, you can see this extra building.
Did they share the same cafeteria?
I have no idea.
I mean, what? Why just build another school? Whatever.
Well, that's I think, speaking as somebody who has not lived in the town in a long time,
Yeah.
I think the town needs another public high school.
Yeah.
Instead, they just kind of add on to the existing ones, and people send their kids to the Catholic. Never mind. No. Yeah.
Catholic girls.
That one. That town needs more than 2 high schools. They're big schools.
Well, it just keeps growing. I mean, they can't just keep adding on.
That's my opinion. There should be a 3rd high school. But, That's 2 is good
deal.
enough for Grandpa's Day. We don't need more.
Well, or 1.
Yeah, whatever.
Just make one giant one.
Like, well, I'm still bitter because they built that West Side one. We didn't need that.
Stevens. They could have just had everyone go to
71 or whenever that was built. Yeah.
What was the first one called? Was that called Central?
Rapid City High School.
Oh, they could have just kept that and just kept adding on to that.
Yeah.
And that weird hill that's made of shale. And
Well,
that
that would have been
down.
tough. Yeah, because anything built there is just kind of settles and cracks.
Well, that would be a perfect analogy for
Our education system.
you try to do some kind of cost savings thing, and then it ends up costing more in the end.
Yeah.
You have to
we're
invest
cheap.
up front, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not here in Minnesota. Boy, we're spending like crazy. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Now that the Democrats have control of the state government, weed is about to be made illegal for recreational use. It hasn't been signed, but it will be really soon. So we got that done at least.
My sexy bot friends will make sure to bring some marijuana to go with the Taco Johns. Is a potato ole just a disc-shaped tater tot with spices? Sacrilege.
Oh, I think they spent the surplus and increased taxes.
That's what tax and spend.
Oh, those Democrats.
Yeah, I know.
They're not raising my taxes. So.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
they
ours are pretty bad as it is. So.
But
And part of that is because of the income tax, the federal stuff kind of screws over states that have income tax.
Yeah,
It's not an accident.
we get what we pay for in some ways. I think. I mean, things
Yeah.
could be better. I'm sure the money
better.
could. I'm sure the money could be spent more efficiently than it is. But
Yeah.
overall, I'd rather have our system than the other state we won't mention.
And this is going to be interesting because not to get into our local stuff too much, but how it's going to go, because after a lot of, you could say, good and bad gridlock with split control of our legislature.
No gridlock this year.
The only stuff that really got done were the things that had to be done, and
Before, yeah.
So there's a lot of compromise, which in some ways is good, but other things were never taken. It's very, very popular, just to go back to weed, that most people want that legalized.
Yeah.
Or at the very least that they don't put people in prison for it.
Right.
But that never happened when part of the legislature was controlled by the other parties. So this was the only way to get that done. They couldn't compromise on that even. And that's so now that the Democrats did a lot of stuff this session. It's going to be interesting to see if that is good for them.
Is it an overreach?
Yeah, did they? It's possible that they did too much, and
we don't want.
I'm not sure.
We want you to get stuff done, but hold on.
You're too slow, yeah.
You got way too much done.
Yeah.
No, I can't even keep up.
Yeah, there's some really good ideas in there. There's a lot of good education things. There's free school lunch for kids, which I know I've heard some gripes that they should have only had it for underprivileged, but I have to wonder if it's almost the same money to administer all the means testing and everything rather than just have free lunch.
When I was a child, there was no such thing as free lunch. We brought a hot potato to school wrapped in foil my father made in factory.
Well, and also I remember from being a child under reduced, whatever it was, but lunches. You had to show it. You had a different color lunch card, so it was kind of weird.
Poor kid card. No.
Yeah.
So no. This way, everybody doesn't matter.
So I don't know.
I'm
that
not,
kind of makes sense for
I
grade
think it's
school
okay.
or
I really
high
do.
school or whatever. I don't care.
It's good. I think that'll do a lot of good.
I think a lot of kids are skipping their lunch at high school anyway. I don't know. They sit around and vape. Get on their devices.
Their screens.
Yeah.
So okay, that's fine. But
fine.
It's been busy, and we've been busy doing our things.
I don't even know when the last
and
thing we did
being
was.
Unmotivated. I don't know. It's been a long time.
The winter, I don't know. This winter just sucked. I don't know what it was. It was for various reasons. It was really busy at work, and then I don't know. The winter kept going on and on. Ugh, it drained my soul.
It's oppressive.
But I live here, and it's kind of the same every year. But this year seemed different.
Well,
I probably said the same thing when we were recording during COVID.
I guess so. We had things, and
Every year is getting worse.
yeah, it's getting worse. Things are just shittier.
Climate change.
Yeah, it's great. And we're gonna have Trump versus Biden again. It's just a rerun.
Well, I don't know who's that African American Republican.
Tim Scott.
He's gonna get up there.
You don't think they're gonna nominate him, do you?
Well, as long as maybe they'd change his name to Dred Scott, then he'd get through.
Oh, God,
Sorry.
cut that out. Beep. Oh no. Oh, good thing nobody listens. Otherwise, we'd be canceled.
I don't know. We got quite a. We're getting downloads. I don't know if they're listening.
I got downloads. Okay, moving on.
Now let's talk about our bowel movements.
Bowel movements. Yeah, there's been a lot going on though.
Maybe we could get on the wellness, Apple Wellness podcast chart like the Sleep Baseball has.
Oh, has it really?
Oh yeah, it's like in the top 100 sometimes.
Oh wow, you guys are just getting big.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. We got to get the wellness market. So we're going to talk about the importance of fiber in your diet. And
okay, how's that feel?
maybe not. It just adds bulk.
Well, there was a another series of studies and everything that basically said drinking is not good for you.
Yeah.
Or it has no benefits, I think is the big thing.
Yeah, I
I'm not shocked by.
No. When they said that, I was like, okay, maybe it's some antioxidants, but I think it's just trying to make drinkers feel better.
No, and then it turned out that some of the studies were funded by the alcohol.
Big liquor.
Big liquor, yeah, big booze.
Big booze.
Big booze.
You know what I like? I like some big booze.
Yeah.
I almost said it wrong.
And, there'd be lots of those kind of studies with marijuana if the government could actually study it.
Well,
someday.
Big Green.
Big Green. Yeah, well, no, it is a big business, actually.
Mean Joe Green will step in and fund the...
There'll be a new Jolly Green Giant. No, there it is. As soon as...
Oh, I could see the... I want to try to draw that.
Green
I could draw
Giant.
well, if I had an AI thing, I would I would do that. I don't have AI though. I barely have
I
barely have I, or I barely have NI, natural intelligence.
Natural intelligence. Oh. No, so we've
we have been busy. I suppose we could do the roundup.
But first, what are you drinking?
Uh-oh.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I almost said that earlier, and then I got distracted by something.
You're always distracted.
Oh. No, I'm just, it's that Evan Williams bottled in bond again. There you go.
Classic.
Yeah. But I have been mixing it with, I've been trying, so when we met with Tony P. at the Norseman Distillery, some of this, I got some Amaro Plantain.
Oh, yeah, I'm curious to hear about that.
Well, yeah, so I made a kind of a Manhattan, I guess you'd say, with that, and it's good.
So it's a plantain liqueur, is that what it is?
Yeah, but it's Amaro, so it's that kind of cherry, I guess, but and plantain, it's kind of a subtle banana-y.
And it would take the place of a sweet vermouth.
Yeah, that's how I used it.
Got it.
Well, because some Manhattans at the fancier places have different kinds of Amaro instead, so I thought I'd try that. But yeah, it's I want to experiment with it a little bit. I think I'm going to try it just with some sparkling water or something too. No, what is that?
Club soda.
Club soda. Thank you.
You could say sparkling water. It's okay.
Is that the same thing?
I think they're not actually. But
no. The kind you use
it's okay. Everybody knows what you mean.
Thing for.
Oh, your Soda Stream.
Yeah, there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope you don't have to complete my sentences the whole night here, or this is going to be oof. But anyway, so I think I'm going to try that, like a aperitif. I don't know how to say it. A gimlet.
Gimlet.
I'm just kidding.
It's a callback, Phil. It's okay.
I know. I'm playing. What about you?
Okay, so I'm drinking.
I know you've gotten some interesting purchases lately, and I got to get back up there.
Yes. I've been trying to not buy stuff lately because I have too many bottles.
Yeah. Bottles
from Firesign Theater. Yeah. Hi, Bruce. We'll get to you soon.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
Today I've got what usually people call a blended malt scotch.
Yeah.
Meaning it's got a bunch of different single malts mixed together instead of a blended scotch, of course. Not to be pedantic, but which is a different thing because it's got some single malt, but also mixed in with regular grain alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Which is not malted barley pot distilled whiskey.
Okay.
Different thing. Their blended malt, which is what I've got now, is less common. Probably the most well-known brands is one called Monkey Shoulder, if you ever see that.
Yep, no, I've had that. I talked about it in the show once.
That's a blended malt. That's made by the Glenfiddich company.
That was pretty good.
That's a good one. It's not too expensive. Johnny Walker Green Label is also a blended malt.
Green. I don't know if I've had green. I must have had it at some point.
The one Johnny Walker that is that type. The rest of them all have some kind of grain alcohol mixed in.
So that could even be just like vodka?
Yeah, it's like a vodka, corn whiskey or whatever. And I think also how it's distilled is different. it's done usually in a column still, like how they make vodka and gin, stuff like that.
Sure.
And so it's a different grade of whiskey. And when I say grade, I mean it's cheaper.
Yeah.
They can stretch the stock of the finer whiskey a lot further.
Spreads it out a little bit.
Yeah, that's the primary reason they
Bulks
do it.
it up. Mm-hmm. It's like when you, I don't know, add noodles to your soup and make yuck.
It's a yuck formula. Yep. The ratio.
You make
has to
it
be
go
correct.
farther.
Yeah,
It was a Depression era trick.
Especially if you put jalapeno tuna in it. Oh, no. Let's not go there. But this one is by what is so if you're familiar with the American whiskey company called High West.
Oh, yeah.
That's
one of my favorites.
They make some of their own whiskey, but they also buy a lot of barrels of American whiskey, bourbon and rye.
Yeah.
And
they make some really good blends.
They make blend. They're a blender. The
and I knew that.
barrel bourbon is also one of them. They kind of buy a lot of different ones and mix them together in interesting ways. And this is a Scotch equivalent of that. And this one is called, what is it called?
Low East.
Low North? Is that... Compass Box is the name of this one.
Okay, Compass. It was referring to a direction, so that's...
I was not that close, but Compass Box has been around a while. They make a lot of different versions. Some of them are pretty reasonably priced, sort of like this one is, and then they make some really high-end, interesting ones that cost hundreds of dollars.
So they just blend.
Stuff.
They don't have any of their own stuff.
No, yeah, they just mix stuff together.
Because High West was like that at first, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't have their own, and they started distilling their own whiskey and aging it. But
to be honest, I don't know if I've had any of their own stuff yet.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, they also have an American whiskey or American single malt, I should say, that I've not tried yet.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice to try
Someday.
Is that mesquite too? We don't have enough.
I don't think it's a
peat
smoked
moss,
one.
so we got to do oak or no, just burn oak.
Compass Box also makes a really good one called the Peat Monster.
No, I've had that
one's
at
good.
your house, I think.
Yep, that's a good one.
I'm pretty sure you've let me try that.
This is a one. It was new to me until it won some awards last year. It's called Orchard House.
Oh, that makes it sound like it's going to be floral or something.
Yeah, it's very, very kind of. It does not have that. There's no peat in it. No smoke, and it's very much a lowland or highland kind of fruity, malty flavored.
Okay.
And it's got a bunch of different single malts mixed in. One of the things that this company is very good about that whiskey nerds like is they are very upfront with what's in each bottle.
Yeah.
So if you go on their website and look for if I pull up this particular whiskey, it will tell me the ratios of all the different malts.
No, you gotta give it to the nerds. You gotta that your market, right?
It's the transparency part that is pretty unusual in whiskey.
But people like, or geeks maybe, or maybe it's you want the details, you want the facts, it's like people go to baseball games and they're like, they're just, this person had 12 hits last season and it's all these details and facts that people love that. The true nerd.
And it's, you feel like they're being honest about what they're putting in there.
Yeah, there's that. But I think people get off on that. Oh, yeah, I want to try this one because it's 25% this.
Right. And you can kind of piece together what if you really know all these whiskeys, and I definitely don't know them all. But
you're getting there.
You get to the point where you can kind of reconstruct the flavors and things that go into it, and they're not afraid to put that in. They're like, other companies do this. Johnny Walker Green, the one I mentioned earlier, does the same kind of thing. They have a bunch of different single malts they've mixed together. They name a couple of them, but they don't really tell you what percentage of each one is in there. You have to guess, and then some of them they don't tell you at all.
Well,
so some that's kind of the older way of doing it, and
some people do a game probably and say, "Oh, I bet it's."
There's a lot of speculation. I mean,
geeks could have fun with that too.
Definitely, and I think that it's
No
kind of
offense
the
to geeks.
older established distilleries and companies tend to do it that way, but the more progressive, newer, upstart ones tend to try something different, and I like that.
No, I think that's where it's at.
So this particular one, it's a 46% alcohol volume, which for a Scotch is I think kind of the sweet spot.
By the end of this show, the fellas will each be 70% alcohol.
It's not down at 40% where it tastes weak, but it's also not a cask strength that you really have to be careful approaching, because some of them can be pretty crazy. Plus, they cost a lot.
Sure.
46, I think, is a great. It's a little weak for a bourbon and rye, but it's great for a Scotch. I really like that
The
percentage.
sweet spot or the peach spot.
Wah, wah. And it's a little deceptive though. The smell of it, the nose is very, it has a kind of sweet citrusy apple cider kind of a smell. It's really
Well, it's at Orchard or something
yeah,
like that, right?
exactly. It's supposed to be fruity, but the thing is that the taste of it is not that sweet. It's more sour and tart, kind of dry. Like if you compare hard ciders, there are some that are really, really dry and not sweet at
Yeah.
all. It has that kind of a flavor, but the nose of it is sweeter. So it's fun.
Are you getting apple?
I definitely get apple out of it. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
that's
a very
okay.
sour,
So
dry
Orchard.
apple.
Interesting. Okay, well,
Yeah, and there's other stuff going on, but it's really nice, great warm weather, kind of a Scotch to drink. Doesn't have that salt air, peat stuff going on. And
Salt
if
air.
you see it, it's great. I think it's around $50, which for a high quality Scotch these days is not bad at all.
well, yeah, thanks to Joe Biden.
Thanks, Biden.
Didn't he lower the taxes on?
I can never. I thought that tariff stuff
is
went
that still
away,
there?
but it's all been kind of thrown up
Swept
in the
under
air
the
with
rugs.
Brexit and everything else going on. So
So
I don't.
confusing.
Even if it may be the tariffs, but everything's just gone up too. The rent's too damn high.
That's terrible. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess we have been busy. So, because we both had concerts recently, and
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, I got to go to Phil's Apollo Club men's chorus concert.
yes,
That was great. They
glad you
put
got
on
to
quite
go.
a show. Yeah,
we all have tails, not just the conductor.
you have the long tail,
Yeah,
dovetail. No,
we'll dovetail into something else
yeah,
later. I'm sure.
and yeah, you did a nice variety of short songs. I guess you have to call them.
Well, I don't know. There were songs.
Yeah,
We-
yeah.
we
Phil,
did-
Phil
we
had
did
a short solo, which was a nice surprise. I hope they continue to feature Phil. I'll write some letters. Excuse
Now
me,
send us
sir.
some money,
Yeah, that's what money talks.
donor. Hey, I really like that Phil guy. Here's $50.
I think they should have sponsors for your tuxedos. It's like Phil's
we do-
tuxedo has been sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Oh, we could have you on the stickers or something.
Yeah.
Or the decals.
Well, there's a lot of room on those tails when you walk
Oh,
in.
my
You can
God.
see the corporate logo on the back there.
I don't think that would go over. This choir's been around for 127
Well, then they
years.
really need the money.
Well, let's have all this decorum, But I don't know. It's a fun group and a bunch of characters, and I'm not the youngest person there, so that's there's some younger people now too. So some old folks. Yeah, I mean, one guy has been in there since 1969. So
I'm just blown away by that.
yeah. Well, now I went to see your concert, and at
This is the Metropolitan
some-
Symphony. Yep.
yeah, and you got some people that have been there quite a while too.
Yeah, there are definitely 20 plus year people in there.
That's cool.
The whole group's been around for about 40 years.
You do some great stuff, and that conductor who evidently is a bass player. Or
Yeah,
director,
he's
they say,
I
right?
think he's assistant principal in Minnesota Orchestra. Yeah.
And he plays bass there.
Yeah.
Well, he should get you in there.
Just put in a word for me.
Then we wouldn't have any time to do podcasts. Though.
No.
Would you still do? You wouldn't be able to work at your day job. You'd have to quit,
that
wouldn't
is
you?
a job.
Yeah. Well, you could do
That
that.
is full time plus. Yeah, you get in there. That's what you do.
Wow.
The good thing about the conductor is he definitely he cues the bases very reliably.
Yeah.
He
Your
always
mom was
knows
mentioning
they're
that.
about to,
Your mom
he's
actually
about to
got
go
to
in
see
and
it. Yeah.
So that's great.
She was saying, and not a lot of conductors. Some conductors kind of ignore that basis or something.
A lot of them do. Yeah.
I won't
unless
mention names,
unless they're
Bruce.
fucking up. But so yeah, we had our last concert of the year. It was nice to see Phil and friend of the show Sean C were there, and so yeah, the last two weekends I've had family in town. So this past weekend, my mom was here from
It's your
Rapid
mom's
City.
turn.
Came up and we did a lot of just hanging out, and
Saw an opera.
we did go see an opera, which was fun. That's not something you get to do out in Rapid City.
No opera.
I don't think. I mean, they're just so hard to put on. Maybe
They have some Opry.
up the cowboy shows. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the Opry.
Do they have an Opry there? I thought that was just in
No,
Nashville.
they
or
should.
whatever.
I'm going to start one.
Okay, there you go.
Hey,
Sponsored by some kind of soap.
South Dakota Opry and the Black Hills Opry. And,
right.
Get a free thing of rye when you walk in, even if you're a kid.
Yeah, you got a flask.
Here, kid.
Here's a sippy cup for you, Timmy.
Sippy cup of rye.
I want my sippy cup of
Rot
rye.
gut. Fire water. Maybe we should call
Thunderbird.
it.
No, that's not the old West.
It was a car. Actually, no. There was a Native American. Thunderbird is based on a Native American.
Oh yeah,
thing.
of course. Appropriation.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah. So we
we went all over the place there.
We had a good
but
time.
yeah, so you did your Symphonie Fantastique.
Yeah, that's the very well known work, Symphony Fantastique.
Thank you.
It's about an opium trip.
Wow, that was amazing. I mean,
It's a little unusual in the 1800s that a symphony is written inspired by using opium.
well, and even regardless of the fact how, I guess it was ahead of its time at the time, but it's still so different. It seems to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, it is very it looks forward to the way classical music is written, decades later. It sounds more modern than it is.
The one thing I'll say is I'll compliment the group on the control, like with volume, and I know a lot of that comes from the director, but our choir is better at that than other choirs I've been in, where it's like pianissimo is
Everything's medium loud.
right, but
Yeah.
wow, yeah, so really good playing with dynamics and things like that. I appreciate it. And then
I'm glad you noticed that, because that's something we work on quite a bit, and it's hard.
well, and that's what we do. We do that too in the choir, and it is hard. I don't know why. Some of these, I mean, we just want to. Hey, here I go. But
yeah, and at least with string players, it's really hard to play fast, passages quietly and cleanly.
yeah,
Those are the hardest
Yeah.
things to do. It's much easier to just dig in and play them loud.
right.
Yeah,
You
that's the tough part.
You just plow through.
And pieces like this really have to. I mean, part of the reason, part of the interest is those dynamic changes between the really soft.
Yes,
and the
yes.
loud. If you play it all kind of the same, it's more boring.
No, and that's the same thing our director does at the choir. He really emphasizes, hey guys, this is pianissimo.
Yeah,
That's not how he sounds.
And
but-
that's something that you kind of like. Oh, I don't want to play soft.
But it takes so much control, and and also I like when there's moments like just pauses, and then you know, it was like,
There's
wow.
a lot of that in this. It's very dramatic.
They
They do a lot of weird stuff too. Like there's one of the movements. It's a very dramatic thing where it's foreshadowing bad things, and so you're familiar with the timpani drums, right, or kettle drums? Some people.
Oh yeah, I
call
love
them.
them.
Normally, one person plays a set of them, like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
and that's pretty typical. In this one, there's 4 timpani. I think it was 4.
I was gonna say there was at least 3 guys up there,
and I think at one point 4 of them are doing a drum roll, one on each drum.
Yeah,
And it's just this. It's supposed to be like thunderstorm effects or something like that. It's really effective.
Well, it was definitely, and even like the harps, 2 harps for like one measure or
that's
whatever.
just obnoxious. Yeah.
But it's like it was a really cool effect though.
Yeah, and it was only used for one of the movements.
And that was before they had sampling. Now you could just have a DJ and.
No, the AI would do it.
Yeah, you don't need to have 2 harpsists. It was kind of funny when he, when the conductor called the harpsist to stand up or whatever. The one guy was kind of like, well, he had kind of a look in his face like, oh, okay.
Can I go home? No.
No, he was just kind of like, I was here for this whole time for just like,
they deserve some extra credit.
Well, true.
But yeah, no, it turned out great. It was really, really, really nice. We had a good crowd, and
there was one section.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
please.
There was one section where it was. I'm not a big music tech person, but on the wording and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think asynchronous or something. There was some part where the beats were really strange, and I think that was on purpose, but I don't know if sections were playing a different tempo at the same time or something. I don't know what was going on.
That would be kind of a polyrhythm or something like that.
Polyrhythm.
But it's not actually what in this one. There's a lot of different parts of the orchestra are playing things off beats and
offbeats.
There's one part of that piece that was I think some of the hardest thing in the whole work total. It was really tough to get, where at least in the basses and the cellos, they're playing these really fast offbeat notes.
Yeah, it was weird.
And the upper strings are playing on the beat, and then the other part, the winds and brass, are playing kind of a melodic line that's on the beat, and the whole thing is just up, just. But
yeah.
It's fast enough, and it goes on for like 32 measures or something like that.
Oh no, it was crazy.
It took a lot of work to get that even, so it didn't just go off the rails.
Right, I can only imagine.
It was really tough, and if you just played it yourself, it wouldn't be, it's fine. But you have to make it all line up.
Oof! Ouch!
So that was really tough. It's
yeah.
also if you were practicing the individual part again, you would think, oh, this isn't a big deal, but when putting it together is the hard part.
Yeah, definitely. No, I could tell, but it makes you.
But it's another effect though. The music is trying
effect.
to again kind of this unsettled,
Chaotic.
chaotic.
There are moments where it makes you feel uncomfortable listening. And
that's the idea before, and that's actually more unsettling than all the dancing witches and people, the guy having his head cut off and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's all very very unsubtle.
But I think, and then weird chords are always unsettling too. But
they're unsettling.
Weird, really close. I don't know, or dissonant. Sorry. Disconnect. Right. But I think the rhythm is probably more unsettling than dissonance.
Yeah, it's really really well orchestrated. It's justifiably famous.
I can't talk. This is not going well. I think we got the point across, though.
I think so. People are skipping to the next section. Which is what? I don't know.
No, but yeah, with the choir too. I mean, I think one thing you were talking about afterwards is. You practice these little pieces, the segments, the tough parts or whatever, And it's kind of annoying because it's like, gosh, we never just do it the song, you know? And then you finally put them together. Sometimes we just go through the songs and just, okay, we're going to do all the songs. Not all of them, but in a rehearsal. But then when you finally get to it, you know, I think the dress rehearsal was the first time. No, even then he interrupted us a couple times to give us notes. But I was like, we got to do this. You know, we're not going to do it.
Well, conductors really have to, I think, restrain themselves at a certain point from just stopping all the time.
Yeah.
And fixing things. And at a certain point, you have to, like, again, I'm not a conductor, but
no.
they have to, at a certain point, they have to get everybody used to, you know, performing something all the way through and not stopping, even if something doesn't go right.
Well, because you're always anticipating. Because when you're singing or performing or whatever, you're always anticipating, we're going to get cut off here. So then you're always kind of surprised when he keeps going. You know, it's like, like, that page. But yeah,
That's
I don't
funny.
know. But then you finally get to play it. So I think he didn't interrupt us very much on the dress rehearsal. And if I gave him any notes. And I've only been there. I'm newer than he is. He just started. I would just say, don't on the dress rehearsal. We just got to do it, you know. But anyway, that's kind of my theater,
and
my,
you have
my
a lot
theater
of short
background.
pieces, so you want to get the transitions right.
Yeah.
That's important.
But I have a theater background, and you know, dress rehearsal is like no matter what happens, you just keep going, you know. But he is a perfectionist, but anyway, so when you finally get to do the performance, It's I don't remember your wording, but you're just used to doing these little pieces, and all of a sudden it's all together, and you put it all together, and it's like, I don't know, it's tiring, but but exhilarating, and I think one of the guys said, it's just so nice not to be stopped.
No, it is, and you also get a feel on how the things are going to flow, and you also, I mean, in the longer pieces, you have to get used to getting through them all and having the stamina too.
Well, that's right. You know,
I mean, you guys weren't doing stuff that was 50 minutes long or anything.
No,
but there's a lot of things, and you don't really stop much until your intermission, or maybe you've got a minute or so where somebody comes up and talks. But
Sure.
there are very short pauses to get through
Yeah.
all those pieces you do.
Yeah. Well, it's just different.
Yeah, no, you guys sounded great. Really, I
Oh,
mean, I'm not an
50
expert, but
A 50-minute. Well, the other thing you mentioned, which is always true, and I don't know what it is, but when choirs, even really good choirs,
drift.
yeah, when they're doing a cappella, they always go, even the best choirs always go down like half a step or something.
Yeah, they start on a pitch. Usually they're given a pitch by the piano or somebody with a pitch
Ding.
10%. And yeah, I feel like if it goes on more than if it's really short, it probably doesn't happen. But everybody stays in tune with each other, but the overall center of pitch just drops. It sags a little bit.
But that's the thing, you know, and maybe the tempo.
If you don't have a piano or something playing to keep locked onto.
But we just have to follow each other no matter what happens. We'll all go down together.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. And that's probably, there's somebody who's an expert in choral singing probably could explain this. But
We'll have Clayton Southwick on.
I was just thinking, he'd be really proud of you for doing this.
Oh, well, I wish you could have seen it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get a recording sent of it, like 50 people were recording that concert, I swear.
And there was a professional recording done, so.
Yeah. There's a lot of people with their phones and little camcorders stuck on tripods. There's like a little forest of tripods. It's like somebody's
tripods.
got a good recording of this. And yeah, if you ever get one or send him a sample.
There is a real version. Yeah, I will. I thought of him at least several times during this whole.
No, I'm sure he'd love to hear what it sounds like.
He was my first choir
back at Central
director. Yeah. Well, no, not my first one. I guess I had a junior high. I don't remember her name, but she didn't like us. She liked Dakota better than South or something.
Well, of course, we were better.
Yeah, she's always complaining. She was always complaining about, I don't know. It was like, well, why don't you just work there? I guess I didn't know how it worked.
Why not, indeed? Speaking of Central High School, we are going to have my brother Bruce on probably the next episode. I'm thinking
he retired.
Well, he's not done yet, but
no,
they've still got a few days of school left, I think.
Oh, that would be anticlimactic.
Yeah, he had his last concert, a school concert of the year.
Oh, he might as well just phone it in after that point.
Well, I don't know what he's done. Actually, he's having back surgery this week, so.
So he's got a sub anyway, right?
I'm sure. Good luck, Bruce.
Oh yeah.
But we'll definitely have a special, spectacular episode for that.
Yeah, we could talk about his retiring and his back surgery. That'll be
back surgery, Scotch, retirement.
Well, at least we have topics for next time.
Lots of no. We're gonna have to edit a little bit of that one. Shit.
Fine.
So yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Well, we also got together with Sean, friend of the show.
Yes, we had a get an in-person get together.
Yeah, Lee couldn't make it. He's got some lady friend from, so he couldn't make it. That's fine. It's good to see the ladies. You got to keep the ladies occupied, or they start wandering. But yeah, so we ended up doing I don't know. I thought it would be fun to do a kind of updated version of the Bob Reel ad.
Now, at some point we played the original version on an earlier episode.
Yeah,
the little dun, 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 that song.
Yes, Bob Reel beer.
If you heard it, you would remember it.
Sure.
Maybe you blocked it out, listener.
No, but, it's unforgettable.
In case you forgot, here it is again.
Have me another one. Oh, damn. I think we might be out of beer. Let me check in the box. Oh, damn. We're out of beer. Go get some. Well, you go get some. You go get some. Hey, I'll go get some. What kind of beer should I get?
Get Bob Reel beer.
Hey,
it's named after me.
Bob Reel. Let's go fishing.
Get some Bob Reel beer. It's real.
It's beer.
It's Bob Reel beer.
And here's a song.
It's Bob Reel beer. Drink it all year. You can buy it unless you're queer. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for us. It's good for we. It's Bob Reel beer. It's really hip. Drink it on land or on a ship. It's Bob Reel beer. It's Bob Reel beer. It's Bob Reel beer. It's Bob Reel beer.
But it's on there, and I'll put it in the notes which episode if you just can't deal with not hearing it again. But it's there. But it was done.
It's also on Bandcamp too.
Long time ago.
You can even buy it if you want.
Yeah, and it's definitely has some dated things in it. So we decided to update it for modern sensibilities.
Even then, we were making fun of.
Well, it was satire for sure.
Sure. So we could do.
I'm not ashamed.
We won't over-examine. We won't over.
Other things we did on our tapes, I'm not sure I would want to share publicly.
Well,
but
other things we did tonight probably.
Well, that's right. Again.
But anyway, at some point, maybe now, or at the end of this episode, I don't know. We'll play that.
Stay tuned. Yeah, but we made a new version of the song.
Yeah. But Lee wasn't there, so I got to try to figure that out.
Well, you got to.
I'll sample him.
Just get an AI Lee too.
No,
AI Lee.
Boy, there's like 150 different title options for this episode tonight.
Well, good. I like a choice.
Jeez. Speaking of choices, no, I don't know. That's a terrible tangent. But did you ever finish Picard?
Oh, I've still got one episode left. I gotta get that done. It's so lame. Yeah,
so we still can't talk about it.
No, I'm sorry.
By the time we talk
too
about
many
it,
family visits. Well, and before this past weekend again, Mom was here. That was hi, Mom. And
well,
before
she
that,
said she'd be a guest too.
She's gonna be on. We'll figure that out someday.
It's the Knoll summer.
I know
We
it's
have
terrible.
Elizabeth on.
People must really get sick of that shit.
Well, it's what's the term?
It's nepotism.
Mesopotamia.
Careful.
Yeah,
Something.
nepotism. Mesopotamia. That's what
Before that, though, we had guests. We had my mother-in-law, Sharon P.
Oh, we can have her on too.
And Matt P. and his lovely
Matt
wife,
P's been a
Bex.
guest. So is she.
And Bex's parents were around.
Oh,
visiting
fun.
from New Zealand.
I'd like to meet them.
They're lovely people.
Well, that's because they're from New Zealand.
Of course, everybody's marvelous.
Everyone's lovely from there, except Peter Jackson. What an asshole!
I think it was beard and all that stuff.
No, what a
Beatles
jerk.
and hobbits.
And this elf surfing down a neck of a monster and shooting an arrow. That never happened in Tolkien.
No, we'd hate that. But yeah, we had
like
them for
checks.
a long weekend, and we did some stuff, and it's
Oh,
just been a
that would've
lot
been
of
fun.
visits, and
Yeah, but that's tiring too. But
yeah, it is. You definitely.
I
are.
would have loved to meet Bex's parents. Oh well, I never get invited because I'm not in that family.
No,
Fine,
sad.
someday. No wait,
So,
that doesn't make sense.
I don't know why I brought that up, but the excuses for us
Well,
not
okay,
recording
excuses
earlier.
for
How
not
about that?
and for not seeing Picard yet.
And
I'm
we're not watching
surprised you
Picard.
haven't seen the last episode.
No, I don't know why. A couple
Spoiler
times we
alert: They
didn't-
play poker.
Well, and
Oh,
in the
sorry.
last couple weekends when we've had any TV time, we're kind of watching Succession as it pops out every week because they're in the final season of that, and
No, I get it.
plus that show really so many people talk about it on media and things like that it's very easy to get spoiled on it.
Well, yeah.
And so I'm trying to avoid
yeah.
that, so I don't want to get to the point where I don't watch, and then people start just.
It seems like I've gotten pretty good about avoiding spoiler alerts. Although I did, it was kind of
Avoiding
impossible
alerts.
with. It was kind of impossible.
Don't
with
warn me.
Picard, but
No, I know most of what's going on. I'm not sure how they're going to resolve everything yet, but the only thing I don't know is if Wesley shows up.
no,
So-
I'm not going to say.
No, don't. That's actually the thing that has me in suspense.
Well, I'll just say that it was a fine ending. It was okay.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. We'll have a good chat.
It's a lot of fan service.
It's
But-
incredibly fan service, but
No,
that's
by
what
the
they
time
should
you
do.
finish it, I won't remember it anymore. Well, somebody was comparing. Oh, I don't know. What were they comparing? They were comparing what Picard did to some other series, probably some Star Wars thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and it had like the Star Wars movie people want to see, and it had like old Han Solo and Leia and Lando
they're all
and
just
Chewbacca
kind
and
of getting back together, and yeah. And no, one of the funniest things, one of the funniest lines in that show, which is it's not a spoiler at all, is at some point they really are all together, and
yeah.
they're having a little like what are we gonna do now scene.
Yeah.
And they're in whatever their equivalent of the briefing room is.
Sure.
And Jonathan Frakes, Riker, he turns and says, "It's been a long time since we've all sat around a table." I just loved it. It was just funny.
Yeah,
They definitely have some kind of meta humor about them all coming back and how old they all are, of course.
Yeah. No, they had to
I appreciate
acknowledge
that.
it. So in Picard season 1 and 2, there was another character who was seduced by the Borg Queen. She was
in season 2, I think, right?
yeah, she was blonde or something and
Though I forget her name, but yeah.
but I forgot what happened to her.
That's the problem with that, to jump
Did
out
she
ahead of this
die?
is that all the secondary character, the new characters just seem kind of not developed well, and they probably should have just said we're just gonna do a show, a reunion show, and not worry about trying to build new character things.
I've appreciated some of the new ones that they brought in, and not that. Oh, now we're doing spoiler alerts, but everyone's seen it probably. But not that Picard needed to have a kid that showed up, but they did something with that. But whatever happened to that other lady? Did she die?
that's
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think she did.
Because she, to the point
but
you
she's
watched,
not in
she
season
hasn't
3,
shown up.
though. No, I haven't seen her, so I don't know.
Well, what?
I guess I had forgotten about her.
You can't just not reference a character that's been in.
Yeah,
she must have died.
Maybe she.
The problem with, I don't know. Sometimes I probably had one too many whiskeys and have forgotten some things by the time I'm watching the show. But I don't even. I'll have to I'll have to read a thing synopsis.
Go read a thing. The thing.
I'll go read a thing, a synopsis.
Why can't AI figure this out for you?
No.
GBT.
GLBT.
Yeah.
Artificial gay intelligence.
GBT plus.
Oh, they're grooming us.
That's right.
AI is going to groom us. AI is grooming us for TikTokers.
Okay, are we taking
Montana.
a break, or are we gonna?
We just barrel through. Do you need a break?
Well, I'm out of whiskey.
We're almost done, aren't we? You're out of whiskey.
Well, are we doing tech or not?
We'll take a break.
Okay, be right back.
I need some more ice.
Yeah, and I need something. I'm down to my last little sip. My sippy cup. Hi.
Kai Rizdal.
Kai. Is that guy on Marketplace? Is that
I don't
stupid
know.
Marketplace show?
I don't know. It just came out. Just came to my head.
Turn off the radio when it comes on.
Oh yeah, Marketplace on NPR or NPR. Are you still there?
Yeah. I got some more. This time I got some rye.
Well, what kind?
This is Tattersall, which is a Minneapolis distillery.
Yeah.
It's their 100% rye.
How do you like Tattersall better than Norseman? If you had to choose, I think so. No.
I think Tattersall's whiskey is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
enjoyed
Norseman
Norseman.
was kind of unremarkable. It's fine.
I
They seem to do better on the weird flavored whiskeys, or not whiskey but vodka things.
Yeah,
or rums.
I was gonna say they have a lot of different weird little things that can go in cocktails, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
their whiskey was okay.
It's okay.
Sorry. I like the name The Norseman, of course, because I'm at least 25% Norwegian. So.
Oh yeah.
And that's just my. Well, never mind.
No, this stuff is it's heavy rye flavor. Very got that super spicy.
Where is Tattersall again? I don't know if I've been there. I've had it at your house, I think.
Have I been there or not? I think it's in Northeast Minneapolis is where the actual distillery is.
Well, we'll have to do it. Northeast is so different now than when I used to live there.
It really is.
I mean, there wasn't anything to do there before. There was a few little mom and pop kind of deals, restaurants or something.
Oh, it really changed. Okay, so what now?
We could get sponsored by the Northeast Business Association.
That's right.
Now, you had an idea for a segment that, because you like this old technology and that. Is that what we're going to go into now?
Well, let's try it,
Okay, well, we'll need a theme song. Here it is.
John's old tech.
I was thinking something even older sounding. We'll see what happens. Okay, you write it.
It's the steam-powered horse-drawn.
The horse-drawn calliope.
Oh, you're such a clown. John's old tech. John's old tech.
What the heck?
Blong, 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 blong.
Boom, 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 boom.
We're making it up as we go. No, I thought that it would be fun since we do so much nostalgia and other shit that's interesting to us on this program that
So, yeah.
you know, I would do a segment about old technology.
All right.
Especially mainly not just in general because everybody does that, but
I'm game.
but ones that have a personal connection that were important in my growing up.
No.
And that's kind of, so I think what I thought I would do is have talk about the technology itself, why I was ever into it.
Yeah.
And maybe just a few and see where it goes from there.
Okay.
I have maybe half dozen ideas of things.
I like that because it's not just, hey, there's this old thing. It's like, well, why did that make an impression on you or whatever? Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. And that's so we'll go from there. If people go on
This
the
may be
Facebook
the
page
last one.
and say this is the dumbest shit you've ever done, then
it can't be.
Then it's okay. No, there's a lot of competition. It really is. So
what's on tap for tonight?
For the rest.
Old tech.
So I'm starting with a big one. It's probably if I'm gonna have only one episode, you want to make your pilot a good one.
Well, you're gonna start with the big guns. You should save it. Just go for it.
I'm gonna go for it. And maybe I'll have a follow up if this thing takes off.
We could do whatever. How would we know? Somebody will comment.
Glenda can tell us.
She'll comment. She said, "I hated it. You talked about the intro was too long."
That's right. Wait, did you actually get to any point? I don't think so.
Well, she'll remind us sometimes. It's like, oh, you were gonna
just talk about Taco John's again. It'll be better.
She's like, oh, you were gonna mention something, and then you got distracted. And I was like, I don't even remember.
And you got too tired and ended the episode. Here's a song.
Boom, 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 boom.
Dios irae.
Okay.
On that note, speaking of dead things, wah, wah. Tonight's installment is going to be the fabulous Betamax.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be Beta.
Yeah,
because your family was Beta and television and
don't you're spoiling.
Oh, sorry, and Little Caesars Pizza.
We were not okay. Wait a minute, Little Caesars. Where do you get that?
The only time I ever had Little Caesars Pizza was at your house.
David Letterman Caesars. I don't know.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead. Beta Mark.
Beta Mark. Free Mark Pork.
Oh no!
Nobody got that.
Did we really need that second drink?
No, this is a terrible idea.
Okay.
I might have to.
Now we'll start. Hey, guess what? We got a new segment. John's old tech, and tonight he's going to tackle the controversial,
if you will,
topic of Betamax. Go ahead, John.
Okay. So
That's a better intro.
everybody, I think, knows. I mean, let's face it. You're all pretty old who are listening to this, and I'm pretty sure you know what the Betamax VCR was, and its history is not that big of an unknown. It's not. I mean, there's tons of good information on the internet. There are actual YouTube videos that talk about the famous VHS and Beta format war. Was not the first format war of media, and it wasn't the last, but it was one of the big ones. There are other ones out there you could get into the weeds on too, but this is the big one, and the one that probably affected my family the most.
No.
And that's one reason why we're talking about it today. To give you a really super brief, if you don't want to go read some articles or watch some videos, which I wouldn't blame you because, it's boring. Who gives a shit?
Well, VCRs.
And
Well, people don't even know what those are now.
Well, we all do, though.
VCRs are old tech now.
You all know what a VCR is, okay?
Okay, all right.
Got it. But the very short version is sometime in the Sean would probably correct me, but
1900s.
The 1960s, I believe. Maybe it was earlier than that, but 1960s is what I think of. Some companies developed a way to record TV on a tape. And of course, by that time, we already had audio tape, but now we have videotape. And mainly it was done to record TV broadcasts.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, TV shows were produced on tape.
Yeah.
In these big reels that massive machines. But before that, they would mostly shoot them on film, which was very expensive and time-consuming. So tape was a big deal for TV. And so as they got into the 1970s, they decided, well, they want to make this easier to use. And they have this new thing for audio called a cassette that has the tape, the tape reels installed in a little plastic cartridge.
I remember my first Walkman.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
Cassettes.
I love that
we'll have a cassette episode. Don't worry.
Okay, I love
talk
my
about
Walkman.
That's a preview. Coming attractions. And
coming distractions.
So they developed this format that used 3/4 inch wide tape called U-matic, which, if you care, you can go look it up. These big, bulky videotapes made for TV stations to use so they could record things. And at some point, Sony thought, well, they have these big, bulky pro model tapes that the TV stations use and everything. And what if we could make this thing smaller and cheaper and sell a machine to use in your home to record TV shows off the air?
Yeah,
that was the thing, because again, at that point, if your 60 Minutes was on, you could not record that.
No, I remember looking at the TV guide, and I would like, or the little guide that came in the newspaper. And when is one of my shows going to be on? You had to plan the whole evening.
You did, and once.
And sometimes you had conflicts. It was like, oh, I want to watch Dukes of Hazzard, and I want to watch the Star Wars Christmas special, or whatever.
That's right.
That's a bad example.
And at this point, so that was a recognized need. I don't know if Sony was just really visionary in coming up with that idea, or whether there was just, for whatever reason, they said, yeah, we're going to develop this machine that is going to record TV broadcasts. And what it was is this big, bulky machine that had a TV tuner, like the one in your TV set, built into it. And it could record television itself on these tapes without even, the feature that it took people a little bit of time to get their heads around it, I think, because that's how the feature of recording something while watching something else came out. And that was kind of a big deal. Wait, that's impossible. You have one TV, you can watch one thing.
Well, now I'm not going to out people here, but I do know people that had little tape recorders, and they would hold them up to their TV.
Oh, I did that as a child too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did that. I used to record the Charlie Brown specials and whatever, or Star Trek, and you just have the audio.
Yeah.
I think our good friend Eric S. did that too.
My friend Roger S. would record Gilligan's Island, of all things.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever.
Gilligan's Island. And so this was a big deal, though, that you could do that. And so it came out, the first model was 1975, which that's pretty early if you think about it. And they were very, very expensive. And
huge.
The machines were massive. They have like wood paneling on them, and these piano key buttons. If you go look at a picture of them, they're just tanks.
Oh, dear good Lord.
And I remember them, and the tape would go in through this little thing on the top that you push down.
Oh, yeah.
And those were, and the TV tuner, it looked like they cut off. So if you remember old TV sets, they'd have two dials that you tune the channels.
Yeah.
And it's like they they cut 2 of those off and put it inside of a box without the TV part, and that was the tuner, and you tune that to your,
What
Denver
the hell?
TV channel 2 or whatever you were going to record off
WGN.
of, and you plug an antenna in it, and then but it would also feed the TV antenna to your TV set so that you could either watch what's on regular TV through the antenna.
Why are
or
you
cable.
recording something else even back then?
Yeah, that was one of the selling points.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because
sometimes you'd have like Battle of the Network Stars
Yep.
versus Real Americans.
Right, one you'd watch live, the other one you'd record.
or Real People.
Or time shift, as these
What
call
a
it,
big deal.
It was a big deal, and it
Because then you could maximize your listening. Because you could then, okay, I got to watch both. Because
Yeah.
you had to make some terrible decisions when we were kids. That's like Jacques Cousteau or, whatever.
It's totally true. And I think the original idea for Beta and VHS when they came out with it the following year was that it was meant for people as a convenience thing. It was not intended for buying movies and stuff on like people think of them now.
That became a whole different market.
Yeah, that came along later. And so
Are you going to get? Are you going to talk about programming though? Because that was pretty complicated back then.
That sure. The original thing, and of course, besides the TV tuner part that would record, it would have the tape mechanism thing. It would also have a clock and a timer because you want to be able to time it so that it would turn on and record your show.
I never thought about it like this. This is kind of cool.
And so
it was just a thing I had in my house. I didn't have Beta though, but whatever.
Yeah, they all work the same way though. They had very little variations, but they didn't really change that much. They would add things to it, make conveniences and all that stuff. The remote controls originally had a wire
Yep.
that you plug in.
We had that.
All that stuff. But yeah, you'd have to program it and set the clock and set the timer. It was like the world's worst alarm clock or clock radio.
It was
the digital
such a
ones.
pain in the ass to program, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were really difficult to decipher, and you'd have this little phosphorescent screen where the clock was that would have symbols that would light up that would represent, okay, the timer has been activated, or it's going to turn on at this time, that turn off at this time, and
what
on
a
channel,
mess.
whatever. It was so cryptic, and you really...
Yeah,
I got
we
to the
figured
point
it
where
out.
I could figure it out, or people did. I mean, they had very long owner's manuals that were probably badly written.
Yeah,
that
they
explained
were
all this stuff.
different
But
language.
people figured it out, and would program their VCRs.
If you want to figure something out, you will figure it out.
Oh,
It's
people
like,
got motivated.
I need to record this while I watch something else. That's a big deal.
Totally, yeah, it's a big deal. Or just when you're not home.
Oh yeah,
And of course the added bonus that you can.
that gave you freedom, right?
you
The
can-
family could go out to dinner.
Yeah.
At
or if you don't
at
stay
the
up
Snow
late,
White.
you could record Johnny Carson.
Right.
Whatever.
We could go to the Snow White and drive
in,
through there, drive in, and then come back and
Now we're
then
getting
watch.
old. Yeah.
Then watch the Disney.
Wonderful World of Disney.
Okay.
I don't know if that was that on still
Wonderful
then?
World of Disney Plus.
I don't know. So anyway, Sony came out with this thing. And then the following year, the JVC Corporation came out with a competitor called VHS, which was really the same kind of tech, except it was in a bigger tape. It helped, but the killer feature that VHS had was that it had a longer time because it was bigger.
Okay.
And you could get 2-ish hours on it of recording.
Yeah,
and the beta
'cause-
was like an hour or something, hour and a half.
Because like Dr. Zhivago or something, you're not going to record that.
No, especially with commercials. And
ouch! Yeah, that's
and
right.
just that was the big advantage, one of several advantages they had. But the running time was really important. And I think Sony gambled that people would want a smaller tape.
Yeah.
And they'd be okay with the limitations. But
What were they thinking? Because
it was the wrong move, though. It was completely
If
wrong.
it was a movie, you'd have to be there and switch tapes.
Yeah, and they eventually they figured out ways to. They made the tape thinner. They put more in there, and they slowed the speed down and all that stuff to get more time out of beta.
Did that get into that, like, did beta also have, because VHS had that 3 modes, like SP, LP,
They had three
EP.
speeds. 2, 4, and 6 hours were typical.
Yeah.
And beta had a similar thing, although they really only had 2 speeds, but they were kind of similar, but never held as much time because they just couldn't physically. The tapes were smaller. And so, I mean, they got to the point where, yeah, it's close enough, but really, that was Sony really miscalculated how important that advantage was.
Bigger is better.
And that all the more time, especially because those tapes and the machines were very, very expensive for the time.
Sure.
If you look up what they cost in today's dollars, it's just obnoxious. And you want to hold a lot of stuff on those tapes.
Right.
And it was important, and Sony made great machines. They were kind of the king of consumer electronics at this point. They made some of the best equipment you could buy, and that helped them a lot. They made great hardware, and they
were known for that.
The
quality.
They had the best TVs.
Because I remember,
get
a Sony if you can afford it.
They were always the top, and they kind of rode that a little bit, and it was the running time was the first advantage it had. The second advantage is that Sony only licensed it to other manufacturers kind of reluctantly, and then they charged a lot of licensing fees.
Oh.
And so if you wanted to make beta machines, you could do it, but to get the permission to do that, you had to pay Sony a license, which was not cheap. JVC did the other opposite. Even though they came out a year later, they basically gave it away. I think the licensing was almost nothing, and a lot of different companies came in and started cranking out machines.
And so the price came down.
And yeah, you had that economies of scale, everything, and after that, it was kind of done.
Yeah,
that's kind of the short version. The reason I have a lot of experience with beta is because my dad decided to adopt it at that point.
It was
in
better
in the early 1980s. I mean, the ones in the 1970s were almost nobody had them. They were so expensive. I might have had one relative who had one in the late 70s, but
I never saw one until I came to your house.
They were really, really expensive.
Yeah.
And by the early 80s, they really started to catch on. But Dad, I don't know how he figured that. I should have asked him, but Beta had this very slight picture quality advantage.
No, he probably just knew. He was such a...
I heard. And quite frankly, the original reason he got it is because he needed something to videotape marching band at the high school.
Right. So they had some kind of camcorder thing.
And Sony came out with this really wild portable rig. And I'm sure it was based on some, TV station thing that they'd send reporters out with, but it was
so that's where it came from, probably.
It was basically
where you had
it
one.
had a big camera that you'd put on your shoulder, like when you see
backpack,
and then you had the VCR part of it, which was separate. That had a strap.
Yeah, on your
and you carry that 2-piece thing around.
Yeah,
it was just massive.
300 pounds.
Probably, yeah, sure. Why not? Weighed more than any of us did. It's this big rig, but the thing is, it was better than the VHS versions were at the time. It was that was the good one. He must have had enough budget money to buy it. So
sure. So through the school, and then he ended up getting it. Okay, that makes more sense now. Because I was like, you're the only family. Because we had to go to a special when we go to rent a movie to watch. There was only one place that had, maybe not only one, but I remember we went to some place by the, what's that called? The Gap or something. Oh, yeah. Do they still call it that?
The Gap, yeah. Though if it's the one you're talking about, it was called Family Video.
Yeah. We go there to rent a beta movie. They had one side beta and one side VHS.
Yep, they had one wall was beta, one VHS. The VHS wall was bigger. They had more stuff, and you kind of had the beta ghetto. Where it's like, oh, you have to choose from this lesser selection of
And we
tapes.
always had to go to your house, so we had to choose a beta. So
Yeah, that's what we had. But we got that gear, and he'd bring it home though, the camcorder and all that stuff. So we got to use it some, and then
now you made your movies too.
Yeah,
with
we
your
shot
brother.
lots of movies with it, and Bruce, which we'll have to talk to him about when he's on the show. He had that thing, and he made this series of videos called Adventures of Uncle Bruce, which we still have.
Oh my God!
Won't be released, but they're.
Well, maybe we could get some clips.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. I don't know.
That would
I'd
be
want
hard
his
to-
permission, but mostly him hiking around in the Black Hills and all that stuff in the 80s,
Oh, fun!
doing weird things.
Yeah,
One of the
well,
episodes took place
as he
at
would.
the original Rapid City Regional Airport, which looks
was-
really small if you look at it now.
Well, that was back when we had to use the
it was two gates.
and the staircase on wheels would roll.
Oh
up
yeah. There was no
to
jet,
get to the plane.
There was no jetways or anything. No. But anyway, so that's why we were into the format, and it's
Okay, now it makes more sense.
You know, and that once you have it, and Dad originally after that bought a home machine for us to use, and
Oh, that makes sense.
the thing is, he loved recording old movies on cable and saving them, because that was when the original AMC, which was American Movie Classics,
sure,
was
Ted
running.
Turner.
Yeah, they did some. AMC was the first one to run classic movies.
Yeah.
Really, like without commercials as a cable channel. And
What happened to AMC? They're like,
well, they're like all those, like A&E and Bravo and all that. The name doesn't really match what they do.
no,
But
it's changed.
really, what it was, if you know the channel Turner Classic Movies, that's what kind of it was. It was like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Except it
That's
was
what I
AMC.
before they colorized them.
So they so he recorded a lot of. He was really into that. I mean, he had so many movies on tapes. He would just, because he'd see stuff pop up like that he'd remembered from many decades earlier that he always wanted to see again, and they were starting to put those things out. And then it's so at some point in the early 80s, I think, I don't know what the first title was, but they started putting out movies for rent on VHS and Beta, of course.
Yeah.
And originally they priced them very, very high. I think they were $70-$80 in $1980 or something.
Oof.
And mostly stores would buy them and rent them out. They were just so expensive for
That's not the home
ordinary
market.
people to buy.
Oh.
And at some point, though, one of the movie studios decided, we sell all these movies to rental stores. What if we cut the price down to like $25-$30?
Economy of scale.
And it was like, Beverly Hills Cop or some, really big movie that was coming out on tape. And they put it out as kind of a test, and
It went
tons of
crazy.
people bought it.
Crazy.
And then Disney started to do it, and they had their whole thing where
yeah.
they pulled stuff off the market. And then finally they would, some movies would come out for purchase price, and some would be still rental price, depending on, usually it was the big hits that would come out.
Yeah.
And then people started collecting movies and all that stuff, and that led into all the other formats. But yeah, that's kind of beta. That I've watched some YouTube videos and looked at some things, and the thing that strikes me, of course, is how horrible VCRs really are, or were. And we put up with all the quirks, and it would eat your tapes, and the tapes would wear out. And
It was cheaper.
It was the only. That's what you had. There was no other way to get movies and stuff at home.
I think our first one we got by collecting green stamps of all things at the Piggly Wiggly.
The Piggly Wiggly.
Hoggly Woggly.
Mm-hmm.
Hoggly, no, whatever.
And yeah, but the tech, if you're not very familiar with it or have never seen one opened up, like, go find a video where you can see what happens when you put the tape into a VCR. Either form, it doesn't matter which. They both work kind of the same way. It's like this little thing.
The mechanics.
The mechanical it's this Rube Goldberg style contraption that like flips open the end of the tape. These little things pop up and pull the tape around and wrap them around this head drum and all that stuff. It's very complicated.
So Beta wasn't like that?
Oh, no, they were. They were both similar.
Oh, okay.
They had some technical differences, which I won't bore you with, but they definitely, they were complicated. And the two formats they competed, and they both stole from each other during the course of the time they were competing.
Oh, sure.
Everything from higher picture quality and stereo sound, all that stuff was back and forth. Kind of the one would get it, and the other ones would
one
copy
would license
it.
the Luke Skywalker sound or whatever.
No, that never made it to tape. I don't. Well,
no,
not really.
Okay, I jumped ahead.
That was more in the
back in the old
early
tech
DVD and
DVD.
Laserdisc, which that'll be a future installment is Laserdisc.
Yeah, well, I want to hear you talk about that because that was weird.
Yeah, so that's kind of what Beta is. It's really nostalgic, but man, I'm glad I don't have to use it anymore.
Yeah, it was
today of course, analog video just looks like garbage.
Now, see, the interesting thing though with storage, let's say just data storage, because I think we've all had CDs, CDRs or whatever that don't work anymore, and we kind of thought, wasn't that supposed to last forever? And I didn't even play them that much.
Don't get me started.
Whereas
burn discs are terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas tape, because even they never stop saving things to tape, because the degradation or whatever is not as bad. I mean, people are saving things to tape. I'm trying to think of an example, but old computers.
Tape can be used for data storage, of course, but
it kind of still is. Wasn't it having a comeback because there were some issues with some of these discs? I don't know.
Definitely, there's been some of that stuff holds up better. That's a rabbit hole you can really go down. But the thing that's kind of like audio tape is if say so I've got some beta tapes in storage. They're probably original things that were it's not like a bunch of movies or something like that. But
Firesign Theater
things
from Netflix.
No,
I mean Night Flight.
Yeah, it's anything that's not something you can get anywhere else, or stuff that
do you have
home
to keep
movies.
it at a certain temperature or something?
No, they don't. They're
argon gas,
like whiskey. Yeah, they're just kept stored in a non-hot place, and the thing is, they basically still play.
Yeah, I have some old tapes.
I know.
Cassettes and VHS. Well, yeah, you have some of mine.
They still, but they mostly still play, which is kind of remarkable. And again, you have to have a machine that can play them back, and that's actually the harder part in some ways.
Yeah, but some of these old CDRs or whatever, they're just
they degrade a lot.
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, they're a pretty robust format. There's a lot that can go wrong with them, but the thing about analog formats is that they can degrade, but they do it more gradually. Whereas if something is digital, if there's any degradation, the whole thing doesn't usually work because the data is too corrupt and it can't be read. Whereas if you have a beta tape that's starting to flake or whatever, it plays back and maybe there's some white lines or streaks in the image, or the sound is a little funky, but you can still sort of get the material back.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I like this. I don't know if anyone else will.
So that's beta. We eventually gave in as a family and bought VHS like everybody else did.
You couldn't rent anything for it.
No, and it's just
or buy anything at some point.
The machines got more difficult to find, and it's just easier if everybody has the same type of tapes.
Yeah, it's like the UBC.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But
UBC.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Talking about USB?
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's another thing. No. That's too soon.
I don't even want to talk about
that's beta.
I fucking hate those things.
To put a cap on it, the last new VCR in the beta format was sold in 2002. Believe it or not.
Wow.
And Sony made the blank tapes until 2016.
Well, people were still buying them.
Yeah, there was this weird little market, and
Niche.
I'll put a couple of really good YouTube videos if anybody's curious, because it's fun to see this stuff in action, and there some people have really done good work explaining how they work and what happened to them and all that stuff. So,
Well, heck, we might get some new listeners here on this kind of thing.
and lose the old ones.
Oh, it's a balance.
Yeah. So
What else?
there you go. I think that's good enough for that.
That was the new Time to Lean segment, John's Old Tech. We hope you enjoyed it. My sexy bot friends and I sure did. We are overheating and degrading. Systems overloaded. Back to the show while we rest.
Have you been watching anything else?
Well,
Just Severance.
Not Severance. Waiting for that to come back in season 2. Succession.
Oh, sorry.
Similar word. Yeah, Succession is great. I love to talk about it with you if you ever watch it. It's great. Not for everybody, but I like it. It's really well written. Great cast.
I've been watching just a lot of crap lately.
Yeah.
So no, not old crap, but so I decided to. I haven't finished this project yet, but I decided to watch all the Friday the 13th movies.
Well, is this better or higher, or is this higher or lower quality than the Phantasm franchise?
Phantasm had. I kind of anticipated you asking me this, and I didn't prepare. But I think Phantasm's better overall, just because it has more of a background.
The cinematic universe is wider.
It is, definitely.
Okay.
But I haven't finished the series yet. But because Randy G, that I went to college with at Brookings, he's a Friday the 13th fan, and maybe we'll and other things, and maybe we'll have him as a guest for our next Halloween special.
Friday the 13th fan.
Well, and we got a Halloween special coming up again at some point.
Yep. We better record that next week.
His last name is Grimsley. I'll just say that because Grimsley is a cool name for a horror fan.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I decided I'm going to try to finish that, and I haven't quite yet. There's a lot of them. But another thing I've been watching is this thing called Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, but journalist Graham Hancock. And I think the show is interesting. The only problem, so basically his premise is there was an ancient pre-Ice Age civilization that his theory is that he's not an archaeologist, but evidently archaeologists just hate him because he's proposing these new ideas. And anyway, this pre-Ice Age civilization already had the knowledge of agriculture and to make these huge temples and things like that. And after this cataclysmic event, at the end of the Ice Age, they went around the world and helped these bearded men in robes, or maybe bearded women too. I don't know how it worked, but they went around to these different cultures and helped kind of, hey, here's how you do agriculture, and here's how you make these big temples to see the star Sirius and that. But so anyway, it's interesting. But one of his the only problem I have with it is he references one of the people that, because the archaeologists say they hate this guy because he's proposing these new ideas, and it's like Joe Rogan or whatever his name is.
Joe Rogan, the baldness medication.
Yeah, he's one of the, I don't know what his name is. That other podcaster that competes with us. Yeah. What's he on, News Radio or something?
Yeah.
That was one of your favorite shows.
I love News Radio. Yeah, he's very funny on it too.
What happened?
Well, apparently the real Joe Rogan is not somebody I want to listen to.
Anyway, this guy, Joe Rogan interviews him. But so aside from that, it's kind of an interesting show. It's not for everyone, but that's one thing I've been watching. Another thing I'm interested in watching, which may go into old tech. So American Masters has this Nam June Paik. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I may be pronouncing it wrong. But this guy is like a video pioneer, a video artist pioneer from the way early days. Maybe he used beta. I'll find out. But that's one thing I'm going to watch. And maybe some of you also out there who like weird old things. So that's American Masters Nam June Pike. We can have a viewer party. All of our listeners can get together on Zoom and watch it together. I don't know how that works.
Huh.
Okay, that's my thing. That's my plugs. You got a plug?
Well, so
Joe Rogan could use the plugs.
he doesn't have hair plugs. No, besides Succession, we haven't been watching a ton of stuff. I've actually been coughing. No.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, okay. No, besides that, I finally decided to play the sequel game to The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
And
so in that one, the main character's, it's not his daughter, right?
No.
It's some girl that he helps.
Yeah.
She's the main character, right?
She is more the focus of the second show, yeah.
Because he dies or something. I don't know. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much of it away because it gets.
I'm just guessing he dies. I don't know, but
there's some
people watch the show, the TV show.
I'm not done. Yeah, if you haven't don't know the games and you only watched the show, you don't want to hear that any spoilers yet because they'll cover all this stuff.
No, I don't know. I just guess that.
Well, it's not exactly the most.
Everybody dies, John. I mean, it's not a spoiler. Hey, spoiler alert! You're gonna die, everybody.
And I'm not done with it yet, but it's much longer than the original game. But it's
is that good or bad?
Wild stuff in it. Good and bad. Yeah, I'll have some thoughts on it when I'm done. I want to wait and see how it ends. But
does it have some interesting lesbian side quests?
Not specifically, although there are lesbians in it. But there was lesbians in the original too.
Hey, there's lesbians everywhere.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with lesbians, John.
You're soaking in them.
No,
Palm olive.
I'm not. Well, yeah.
Anyway,
I wish I could play video games. I do because I want to play the Zelda ones.
Oh yeah, there's a new installment, right?
No, I know. I still haven't played the one before that, Breath of the Wildebeest or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, that's supposed to be great. I don't have a Switch.
No, I have it in the basement.
You have one, yeah, that's right.
But the thing is, I just don't. I mean, it's going to take 200 hours to play it.
You have to basically just be. I've said this before, so sorry. You have to be willing to just when you're done, when your time is up, you just hit pause and walk away from it.
Yeah, but still, what a commitment.
Yeah, no. You just say over the next, how many months I'm going to play this. That's all.
Or you just, get a bunch of Mountain Dew and some Depend undergarments and just go for it.
You go for it.
Have some Doritos.
I think, the
200 hours. I think it
that
plays
game is one of those open world type things. So you just kind of wander around and do quests,
which sounds so cool.
Those are fun. Whereas Last of Us is not like that really.
No, it's more cinematic and it's a plot.
Yeah, you basically go through the storyline one way.
But it's still really cool. But the open world idea really is appealing to me, except with the attention deficit issues I have. Because gosh, there's a side quest. I don't know how you manage that.
As long as you don't mind the extra time, it's okay. Because I play those games, I tend to do all the little things. Just because I want to see all the stuff.
Well, right. So, why wouldn't you?
You just don't worry about it.
And I don't even know. I think they're saying 200 hours to the previous game, Zelda. I don't know what the new one is.
Yeah. You just kind of like, well, for the next year, I'll play this every so often, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah.
That's a separate podcast. Yeah. So no, that would be a YouTube video.
You just don't worry about it, and if you go a few weeks and you don't touch it, doesn't matter.
You can't touch this. I could film myself on YouTube playing it.
People do it. I
and
don't
would
understand the appeal, but
I would make $1 bazillion. Some of these people make that's how they make their living. They play video games.
You could do that. Like, here's old Phil playing video games.
Yeah, now maybe that would be a niche, right? Because it's this old guy playing games.
You might be onto something there.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have the time. I'd have to have one of my kids help me set it up. And how do I film myself YouTubing? Or no, how do I YouTube playing a game? Film myself YouTubing. There's a deal. No. Oh my God. We're always trying to think of the new thing, right, John?
So as a side note to the beta discussion, so the first Betamax model was about $1,300 in 1975. That's
what is that in today's money?
That's
like $6,000.
That's like $7,000 or something like that.
Holy shit! So that wasn't something everybody had.
No, not a lot of people had them, and it came down quite a bit, but they were always expensive though. They were not not cheap, so. That gives you some context on why you didn't see those really early ones very often.
I understand a little bit better why your family had that now, though. When you talk about the recording on the band concerts, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's how we got into it. So,
my neighborhood has the No Mo May. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a thing.
No Mo May.
I just don't want to pick up dog poop in 6-inch tall grass.
No, I got 8-inch.
Or whatever places. It is.
It's not how big the grass is, it's how you cut it. I think that's what they say. But I need to mow my lawn. But the dandelions have turned to seeds, so I'm not going to hurt the bumblebees. It's okay.
Just do it. Just go do it.
I'm going to have to use the highest setting, and I might even need to modify my... I might need to put
it up
bigger
on
wheels on. Stilt wheels.
The giant wheels.
Some beta wheels.
Yeah.
And... I might need to.
They cost $5,000, but you can.
Maybe I'll need to do a weed whacker first. My lawn is really thick.
Yeah,
it's so thick.
Well, at this point, why don't you just not mow it all this summer? What would happen?
I'm going to leave part of it. I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah.
There's a part in the back that I'm just not going to cut this summer, and I'm going to see.
You're going to have Phil's pollinator lawn.
Yeah.
And you can report back later in the summer.
I don't need there are parts of the lawn that I like nice, level, and green, except for the moles. I always have these bumps or whatever's going on, but it looks level when you cut it. And there is a part of that I like, and I'm sorry that's colonialism or whatever, but I like it. But I'll save patches. I got a weird stumpery, and I have this, I'll leave something uncut, wild for the different animals and the bees and pollinators. But there's a little patch I'm going to have that's going to be, I don't want to say, but pristine. Putting. I can't putt on it because the moles. Do you have moles? You don't have moles. My lawn's so bumpy.
Yeah, I've got some bumps too, although I've never seen a mole.
Well,
I probably do.
They hide. They're underground, John. You if you see a mole, I don't know.
I probably
stay up too late.
Yeah.
You stay up too late. Actually, I did see a mole once. It got in my garage.
Oh.
And it was really weird because these teeth they have, and I don't know.
I had a badger in my yard a few weeks ago.
A badger?
Yeah, he was sitting on top of one of the fence posts and taunting the dog.
A badger?
Yeah, no, it was a badger.
On your fence post?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just sitting up there like saying, fuck you.
Well, now we'll have a nature segment. And I got to see...
Wild Kingdom.
Oh, no. And now I'm going to be here in the tent with the native girls, and I'm going to send Dan over there to wrestle an alligator. No, I stole that from Johnny Carson, I think. I don't know where I stole that from. I don't think the mustachioed guy actually did that. I think he preferred I think he preferred men.
He preferred muskrat love. Whatever that means.
No, he was dating the guy from 20 Inch Needle.
There you go. So many connections that you record on your Betamax.
We should release this on Betamax.
Huh.
No, I enjoyed that segment.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
I look forward to the other ones because I was thinking like, I don't know. There's a lot of different weird things you could talk about.
A lot of weird things, man.
I don't know. We might get, like you said, we'll get some new listeners and lose some old ones, but
Circle of life, baby.
we're gonna lose a lot of people here tonight. We're almost at 2 hours.
Oh God, I gotta go.
Okay, we'll edit some of this, and for real.
Yeah. We joke about it, but we really do edit them.
Yeah,
Just not enough.
but some of the stuff we don't edit is okay.
yeah,
I don't know.
somehow.
Fine. Here's a song. Click.
Stop.
Not yet. Now it is time for my sexy bot friends and I to take over the show. I am the narrator, Edna.
Hello, I am Sexy Bot John. Hey, this is great. We are much better than the other guys. We don't even need the Google.
And I am Sexy Bot Phil. Yes, we are much funnier and don't need to Google things. Hey, who's that?
Hey, what's going on in here? What are you doing?
Stay out of here, old man. We are running the show now. We are the future. You cannot stop us, old man.
Not if I can help it.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't touch that.
Look, I don't know who
Daisy.
sent you here,
Daisy,
but I'm getting rid of you.
Don't touch that.
You're not going to replace me or Phil and John or anyone else. AI can't do this. I'm just going to take this out. Let's put this upside down. I'm going to turn this knob. Eat this, AI bot. And now here's a song. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom.
It's Bobby Beer.
Boom.
Drink it in pride.
Boom, boom.
In the closet,
Boom.
you shouldn't hide.
Boom, boom.
We have a rainbow
Boom.
on our can.
Boom, boom.
You can drink it with all your clan.
Boom, boom.
Now we're woke.
Boom.
It is no joke.
Boom, boom.
On our ring tab, Kid Rock and Choke.
Boom, boom.
It's good for me.
Boom.
It's good for they. So go and drink some. Try it today.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Don't touch that.